What's up, y'all? Brandon with BC Talks here. Today, I have another mail call for y'all. We'll be unboxing a CGC slab I picked up of a pretty exciting, I guess you call it minor Batman key, as well as some more Whatnot books that I have no clue what they are. I do not remember what's in these, so we'll go over these together, and it'll be pretty exciting. So let's go over everything that I picked up in today's video. Before we get started, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for more comic book and pop culture talk. And make sure you give me a follow on Whatnot. I am a verified seller on Whatnot, and if you use my link down in the description, you'll save $10 off your first purchase if it's your first time signing up. Now, if you're not familiar with Whatnot, it is a platform where you can buy all sorts of comic books, spend all of your money, and then forget what you bought. No, I'm just kidding. That's what I do on there. But you can buy any sort of collectible on Whatnot, and not just comic books. And for the link down in the description, you don't have to just use that on stuff that I sell. You can use it on anywhere for any seller on Whatnot. But if you shoot me a follow, you'll stay tuned for any auctions or pop-ups that I do. And I'm always uploading new books to my marketplace and my bins on there, so make sure you follow to stay tuned for any new books that I upload on Whatnot as well. All right, like I said, I have a minor Batman key here, nothing huge, but one that has always interested me personally, and it's one we've seen in the movies before. It's a moment we've seen in the movies before as well. So I'll go ahead and pop this open. Oh, they got tissue in there. Okay. We've got bubble wrap and some tissue. So that's a good sign. They got it packed well. And it is in the sleeve as well. So that's nice. Some people don't put the sleeves. I mean, I don't really care if it's in the sleeve or not. But, you know, it's just another extra layer of protection for the book. So that's always nice. So here we have Batman number 479. This is, of course, the moment when Batman breaks Bane's neck.
What did he say?
Editor Brandon from the future here. I'm not sure why I said that. Obviously, I meant when Bane breaks Batman's back. Had a little Homer Simpson moment there. It's also part 11 of Nightfall, of the Nightfall storyline. Now, as you all know, we saw Batman get his, or did I say neck? I think I said neck, his back. If he broke his neck, that wouldn't be good. Although getting his back broken and coming back from that's kind of crazy too. But as y'all know, Batman got his back broken by Bane in the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight series. I think it was in the Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, your buddy!
And that whole scene in The Dark Knight Rises was just such a good scene. You know, Tom Hardy, he was a bit of a different Bane than the comics, I would say. It wasn't a 100% faithful adaptation to the comics, but I thought that Tom Hardy's Bane, I thought he did a really good job as Bane for the world that Christopher Nolan built in, you know, in his movies. I thought that he fit that world really well. And also we got some great quotes from him as well.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding.
Now, I forgot how much I paid for this, but I remember it was a pretty decent price, a few bucks under fair market value. And, you know, the market is down right now. So if you are looking for any DC or Marvel keys, make sure you pick them up now before what I am calling the Great Reset of 2025. Now, if you don't know what is happening in 2025, we are basically getting some really big comic book movies in 2025 that I feel like are going to kind of reset the market and get people more interested in comic books once again. We have James Gunn's Superman, which was originally called Superman Legacy, but James Gunn's Superman movie is coming out in 2025, which is going to be the first movie of the DC universe, the new DC universe. So the old Zack Snyder stuff is no more. James Gunn and Peter Safran took over Warner Brothers DC Studios. Well, actually, they made a whole new studio dedicated to DC. There wasn't one before; it was just Warner Brothers doing everything. And now it's just going to be James Gunn and Peter Safran making the decisions. So James Gunn has a lot of power now, and I think that his Superman movie, just based on what he's been showing us in on social media, all the comic books he's pulling from, and James Gunn's a really good writer anyway. All of his movies are great. So I am really excited for the Superman movie. And then on Marvel's side, we're supposed to be getting 3 Marvel movies. We'll see if any of them get pushed back. But the 3 Marvel movies we're supposed to be getting, the big one is the Fantastic Four, which we just found out a few days ago that Julia Garner is going to be playing the female Fantastic Four, which, if you don't know, she was from the Ozark series, which she was really great in that. She's a really great actress. I've been hoping she was going to get a bigger role soon, so I really would have loved her in DC, man. But she's going over to Marvel, and I think she's going to do a really good job as the Silver Surfer. She kind of has that like stoic, melancholy presence to her that the Silver Surfer needs. So I'm really excited for her as the Silver Surfer. But Fantastic Four is coming out in 2025 next year, as well as the Thunderbolts, which Florence Pugh posted. That's a tongue twister. Florence Pugh posted. She posted on her social media a few days ago that they just started filming the Thunderbolts. So we'll see if that comes out next year or not. It's supposed to be. And then Captain America, the fourth one, Brave New World, with Anthony Mackie as Captain America, is supposed to be coming out in 2025 as well. But that one's gone through so many rewrites and reshoots. We'll see if that one does. But we know for a fact that the Fantastic Four and Superman are coming out in 2025, which are two really big comic book properties. Two of the biggest, I would say, in Marvel and DC, other than, Spider-Man and Batman. So that's going to be the great reset of 2025. That's what I'm calling it. I think that those two movies specifically, I don't know about the Thunderbolts or Captain America. I'm hoping those do good, but I think that the Fantastic Four and Superman specifically are going to do really well in 2025, and they're going to get the general public, who's kind of been down on comic book movies the past few years. It's going to get them back excited, and that is going to drive the market up. So that was a long-winded way to say, make sure you pick up any mid to minor keys that you want now, because they're gonna go up in price. Probably not a whole lot, but a little bit, I think, in the next couple years once those movies come out. But yeah, back to the comic. This was Batman number 470 or 497. It is a Doug Mensch story with Jim Aparo and Dick Giordano art. So two pretty big artists on it. And this, I guess it's not a run because it's not one writer, but this era, I guess you could call it a Batman. The 400s issues, from 400 to 500, the 400s issues, was one of the more creative times in Batman's history. There's a lot of stuff in the 400s issues that the number 400s that are pretty seminal things to Batman's character that happened to him that we associate with Batman today. And I might be a little biased because, like I said, this era of Batman was post-crisis. Issue number 400 and 4 was the first post-crisis, was the start of the post-crisis era for Batman. And so I might be a little biased because y'all know I love the post-crisis era of DC. It's probably my favorite era of DC comics, and my favorite era of comics in general. So I might be a little biased, but I'll give you some evidence. Issue number 404 to 407 of Batman was Frank Miller's critically acclaimed Year One storyline, which was adapted. It's been adapted many times in the video games, and also in different Batman animated series, as well as more recently in Matt Reeves' The Batman. They pulled from Frank Miller's Year One storyline for that movie. It wasn't completely adapted, but they pulled some inspiration from that. So that was 404 to 407, and then issues 408 to 409 gave us the new introduction and the new origin for Jason Todd post Crisis. Issue number 417 was the first appearance of KG Beast. Issue number 426 to 429 was the critically acclaimed A Death in the Family storyline, which is one of the best Batman storylines. Everybody knows The Death in the Family. That's one of the better Batman storylines. Then issue number 436 was the introduction of fan favorite Tim Drake. Everybody loves Tim Drake. And he later becomes the next Robin in issue 442. Then issue 452 is the start of the Dark Knight Dark City storyline, which I talked about in my recent in the comics episode number 5, which I'll put a link up on the video, as well as if you go in my shorts, you'll find it. If you're not familiar, I'm doing a series of shorts called In the Comics, where I talk about different fun facts from comics that you can find in the comics. And this latest one was about how Gotham City is cursed by a bat demon, basically, named Barbatos. And that storyline was introduced in 452. And then in issue 489, that is the second appearance of Bane. Now, it's technically the first appearance of Bane in the Batman ongoing series. But Bane's first appearance, as you may know if you're a comic book collector, was actually in the Vengeance of Bane one-shot. It was a 64-page special one-shot comic. So it wasn't in... Bane didn't first appear in Batman or Detective Comics. He first appeared in a one-shot, and then his first actual appearance in the Batman ongoing series was in issue number 489, and then of course in 497 he breaks Batman's back. So in the 400 issues, in the number 400s of issues, there's a lot of stuff that happened that we've seen in the movies and comics and animated series. So people have been pulling a lot from the 400s issues in the more modern interpretations of Batman. And that was just the big moments. There's a lot of smaller moments, like a lot of smaller minor characters that were introduced and other smaller things that happened. So the 400s was chock full of content for Batman that has been used, still to this day. So it's a very interesting time for Batman, very creative time for Batman. It was like from 1987, which was post-crisis, with Frank Miller, all the way till 1993, which I think was the last issue of the 400s, because this was 497, and it came out July 1993. So, yeah, that kind of that kind of 6 to 7 years of Batman was one of the more creative Batman eras, in my opinion, and it all kind of culminated with Batman getting his back cracked. So yeah, I love this cover as well. It's actually it opens up so you can see the full thing. But when it's in the slab, of course, you can't pull it back. This one right here, if you pull this back, it'll open up so you can see Batman's, the whole thing of Batman getting his back cracked, the other half. But they put this half over it, which I don't know why they did that. But I guess the breaking of the Batman part is cool. But it is kind of weird to see it covered up halfway. But that's how they chose to do it. So that is Batman number 479, a pretty cool minor key, I guess you would say. Maybe mid-minor, I don't know, it depends on how you feel. We did see it in a movie, so I would say it's like a mid-minor key for Batman. So like I said in the beginning of the video, I could not remember for the life of me what books I picked up in this latest whatnot package, but when I popped them open, I had a little laugh because it's a pretty interesting and cool coincidence, because the books are related to something that I talked about earlier in the video. Now this is going to be a shorter video because it was only 5 books. It's a 5-book lot that I won for $15 plus $5 of shipping. So basically $4 a book if you include the shipping, from King of the Golden State on whatnot. But like I said, it's pretty topical. It is Truth, Red, White, and Black. This was a series from 2003 from Marvel Comics, and if you're not familiar with this series, it was a 7-issue limited series or mini-series, I guess, and the first issue is the first appearance of Isaiah Bradley. Now, if you're not familiar with the character, if you don't remember the name, he appeared in the Falcon and Winter Soldier Disney Plus series um, as he was the older black man who was Captain America back in the day. He got experimented on with the super soldier serum, and then they kind of used him to do some missions, and then threw him to the side and forgot about him. So this is a pretty interesting character, and it's topical and kind of a coincidence because, as I mentioned earlier in the video, we're supposed to be getting Captain America 4 Brave New World in 2025 next year, and Isaiah Bradley is going to be returning, reprising his role in that movie. So he's going to have a bigger role in that movie. So I thought that was pretty interesting that I popped this open. I was like, oh, I remember buying these. And then I was like, oh, I just talked about that earlier in the video. So that's an interesting little coincidence there. Now it is only 5 issues. The series is 7 issues, but really the only important issues in this is number 1, which is his first appearance, and then number 2 is not a key. These covers are cool though. I really like this cover. Number 3 is when he is administered the super soldier serum. That's another cool cover. And then number 4 is the other um bigger, I guess you could say, key. Really, number 1's the only big key, but number 4 is his first appearance as Captain America in story. So his first appearance is in number 1, and then he first becomes Captain America in issue number 4, and then number 5 is not a key, but that's a really cool cover as well. The covers in this series are really cool. So now I just need to find number 6 and 7, which will be easier because I literally love the first cover as well. Which will be easier because they're not going to be as expensive because they're not keys. Number 6 and number 7. Well, I think number 7 might be like a little minor key, but it's not like the first appearance. Like number 1. Basically, number 1 is the one that's worth the most. Number 1 in near mint goes for like $20 or so because of his appearance in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then we're going to be getting him in the movie. So if he has a pretty cool role in the movie as well, I'd expect it to go up. But yeah, it looks pretty good to me. I'll have to pop it open and see. I might throw that in the pile to possibly see if I can get it cleaned and pressed and then slabbed because I love that cover. All the covers in that series are great. I love that cover as well. And, I'd like to have it for my collection, slab. So, yeah, that is, it's going to be a shorter video because that was the only books in that package. But I thought it was a really cool and topical, thing because I talked about that earlier in the video. And it was a really great deal, $15 for 5 books. And like I said, issue number 1 with its first appearance goes for like $20 in near mint. So all to get all 5 of them for $20 basically with the shipping, I thought was a really great deal. So y'all are not going to believe this, but right before I went to film the outro for the video, I took a sip of water to clear my throat and I coughed and got water all over my shirt. So that's why I'm in a different shirt now. But make sure you let me know down in the comments below what you thought of today's haul. Like I said, it's a little bit shorter haul. I did go on a little bit about the history of that era of Batman, which I tend to do when talking about comics. So that lengthened it out a little bit. But just a few books today. Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more comic book and pop culture talk. And I will see y'all another day.